all of this video, the entire purpose of what I'm doing here is to take away the fear that we all have of dark entities. So yes, they can cause a lot of harm, but once that you know that they exist, once that you are conscious of them, and when you know what to do about them, which you will after seeing this video, then there's nothing to fear anymore. How to get rid of demons. For the longest time, I did not believe that demons were real. I think just like most of us, because it sounds so absurd. But they definitely are real. And I don't prefer calling them demons because it sounds so scary. Yeah, there is something in all of us that is really afraid of demons. So I call them dark entities. I'm not sure if that makes it really better. I'm still looking for the best name, but that aside. So they definitely are real. They are separate beings. They have a consciousness of their own, so they are really beings. So how to get rid of demons? Maybe your first step, you might be wondering, am I under influence of demons? Are there any dark entities in my house? Are they causing my children's nightmares? Are they causing my fears? And the answer to that is probably yes and no. They are everywhere. So it's not like you have to be afraid of going to places where there might be lots of dark entities. It doesn't matter. The world is full of them. They will be in your house right now or another time. There's no avoiding them. And yes, they cause fear, but it's not like if a dark entity was away, then all of the fear would be away as well. The essence of the fear comes from yourself, from your own traumas, from your own wounded ego, and dark entities just have the ability to make it worse. So yes, they are influencing you. They are influencing all of us right now because, yeah, there's just so many of them. But this actually means that they're not as scary as we think, because all of our life we have lived under their influence, and we're still here. We're doing relatively okay. So there's really no need when you feel, when you have this awkward, this nasty feeling of thinking, oh no, maybe I have a demon attached to me, or when your children are suddenly very fearful, oh no, there's a demon hunting them. Maybe yes, maybe no, and it doesn't matter because we all go through that and we all survive it. But that being said, of course we can do better than just surviving. Once that you know how to handle them, life can get lots better. And so I titled this video, How to Get Rid of Demons, how to get rid of your dark entities. But there lies a very important question there. Do we want to get rid of them? You might think, yes, of course, I want to be rid of them. But you have to know, as I said, there are so many of them, and there are different kinds of dark entities. But the most common, as I see it, is actually just humans that have passed on, but that are stuck here on Earth in the dense energies of fear, of anger, of shame, of sadness. And so they didn't have a place to go. They couldn't find the light. They were trapped here maybe on purpose even. And then they were kind of recruited by the how do I call them, the other team, because we're playing this game of life. I have a video explaining this, which I will link down below. In essence, we're playing a game here, and we are on one team. We want to save the Earth. There's another team that does not want this to happen. They want to stop the ascension. And the other team is really good at playing this game. And one of the things they have done is to recruit all of these dark entities. I think they've created a lot of them as well. Like they have made sure that people got stuck here after they died, got stuck in their dense dark emotions, and then kind of turned them to their side. And a dark entity is just, an entity stuck in dense emotions. There's no difference. I mean, a human that has passed on could be light or dark. So it's not really, dark entities or demons aren't really a thing there. They can be lots of things. It's just a being stuck in darkness. And so the other team has recruited them and is using them against us now. So what do we do when we just cast them away, when we cast them out? They just go hunt someone else. and nothing is solved. The dark entity is still feeling like crap. We are still feeling like crap. So what we want to do is not just get rid of them, not just remove them. We want to help them. We want to heal them. We want to get them on our side. So for the sake of the dark entity, because they do feel horrible, they have a horrible life, you could say. So yeah, let's help them, and let's help us by helping them. So I will never teach you how to cast out the demons, how to get rid of the dark entities, even though I promised to do so in the title. I will help you. I will teach you how to help them heal, and of course, once they're healed, they go away out of their own, because then they have no reason to stay here anymore. They can then go to the light, or they can help our team in another way. And if you have a lot of fear for dark entities, which I had just a couple of years ago, I was so super scared of them. So I really know how it feels. And it's normal, because this fear is there on purpose. I mean, the other team made us afraid of them in many different ways. So if you have a lot of fear, then this might sound difficult. I mean, you really just want to get rid of them. You just want them to be away. But just think, if you cast them out, then maybe they go to your children or someone else that you love. So it's really not a solution. And another thing to consider, as I said, lots of dark entities are actually humans that have died and that are stuck here. And you have probably lived many lives on Earth. There are some starseeds right now that for who this is the first life, but most of us have lived many lives here. And in a lot of those lives, we got stuck ourselves in these dark emotions, because life on Earth is just really, really difficult. And no doubt that there will be incarnations that you had that got stuck here after they died and that are recruited by the evil team. So some of the dark entities are very literally just you in a previous incarnation. And just imagine that some dark entity is haunting you, is attached to you, and you are trying to get rid of it. What if this is just you in a previous life? And that would make perfect sense, because they will be attracted to you. They will be attracted to your frequency because they recognize something there. And actually, they're coming for healing. Probably not perfectly. They're not conscious that this is what they want. They just are driven by the orders that they get from their dark bosses or by their dark emotions. But they come to you because they crave healing, they crave being together, they crave love and acceptance. And what do we do instead of loving and accepting them? We cast them out. And we all want to heal so badly. We try to heal our past lives, but what if one of our past lives is just very literally standing on our doorstep, wanting to be healed, and we push it away. We say, you don't have access here, I don't give you permission. And yeah, this was actually healing this past life would make so much difference for us. Or maybe if it wasn't our past life, maybe it's past life of someone that we love, of a sister, of a partner, of a friend, of one of our children, and we're casting it out instead of healing it. I mean, how sad is that? So really, when you let this sink in, when you get past the bulk of the fear, you'll feel how much sense it makes to just want to help and heal the dark entities instead of just saying all the time, I make a field to keep them out. I don't give them permission to come close. Especially if you have lots of dark entities that are drawn to you, this probably means that you have the powers or the capabilities to heal them, and that this is part of your mission. And it might be difficult to accept, because it was difficult for me. I wanted to have nothing to do with them. I was so afraid of them. So it really took me 2 years, I think, to accept, like, okay, it really is part of my mission to help them and to find a way. And then what is that way? How do we help them? I have my magical ways, which I will explain in a moment, of how to heal them. Depending on the strength of the dark entity, it can go very fast or it can take a bit longer. But even if you don't have this, or if you're not connected to your powers yet, then the main thing of healing the dark entities is raising your own frequency. because if they are attached to you, then by raising your frequency, their frequency will go up as well. So automatically they will come into the layers of acceptance and love and peace and forgiveness, and things will release for them as well. So in essence, you don't even have to do anything about the dark entities. You just have to work on yourself, on your own healing, on having fun in life, because this is what raises your frequency. Doing what you want to do, doing what you love. And especially also the healing part, because when dark entities are attached to you, they attach to your traumas. So when you heal the traumas, the dark entities will have less of a feeding ground, because the traumas, the anger there, the sadness there, that's what feeds them. So in essence, the thing to do is just raise your own frequency. But of course, this is kind of like a circle feeding itself. Because it's hard to raise your frequency when you have dark entities attached to your traumas. Because what they do? They keep the trauma alive. They keep it dense and hard and difficult to get to for you. So it's like you want to heal, so you heal the dark entities. But on the other side, you want to heal the dark entities so that you can heal. It's a bit of both. So what you do is you raise your own frequency, but it's ideal if you can also work on the dark entities, really intentionally working on them. And then finally, how do you do that? There are two ways that work best for me. There are more, but I'm just gonna stick to the two ways that are. I'm gonna give three ways that work really, really well. Maybe four. I'm just gonna give you the sequence of what I did in the path that I took. So the first way that I healed the dark entities was with physical movements. And these physical movements are channeled by my higher self. And it's a lot of like really kind of taking the dark entity and doing twisting things. A lot of spinning always. And I still use it sometimes for example, when I'm on vacation and I'm in a place where it's really crowded with dark entities, then this is a good way of getting them together. Then I kind of circle and kind of dance and wrap them all together in a bulk that I can heal. So I have another video on how to learn to channel physical movements from your higher self. I will link that in the description. It is a good way, it works, but it's not the most powerful way. It's pretty slow and it will not work on the stronger dark entities, but it's a good way to start. And the funny thing is, my higher self also kind of guided me on where because I don't see the dark entities. I don't see them with my physical eyes. I see them in my imagination. I see them in visions. Sometimes, but most of the time I don't know where they are. So my higher self would guide my physical body chasing after them in the very beginning. And the funny thing is they ran away. So this is really important to realize. They were afraid of me and are afraid of me still. So what are we being afraid of? I mean, the dark entities fear us. They fear our powers. They feel that we can change them, that we can heal them. And healing means a totally different thing than they are now. And of course, that's scary for them. So the dark entities would run away. And the really funny thing was, most of them could not go through walls. And of course, they don't have a physical body. They should be able to do that. But when it's people that have passed on, then they don't realize that they don't have the physical body anymore, that the laws are different now, that they could go through walls. But if you don't believe, just like in lucid dreams, if you don't believe that you can go through the wall, then you cannot do it. And it's the same for the dark entities. So I would chase them and then drive them in a corner where I would use my physical movements to heal them. So this kind of, I mention this because it shows that they are not as super powerful, not as all-knowing as we think they are. They are... you can look at them just as you look at humans. Some are stronger than others, but they all have flaws. They're not perfect at all. They're not super powerful at all. So channeling physical movements from my higher self is one way that I used to heal them. Let's see if I can remember what the second way was that I used. I can. suddenly, this was when I was still very afraid of the dark entities, but suddenly I realized that most of them at least, are a lot like lost children. They have just lost their way. They do not have a parent to guide them anymore. They are sad, they are lonely, they do not know what to do. And this opened up my heart for them. And I just felt like I want to help them. I love children, and the thought of children being lost here in this world all alone is so horrible. So it opened up my heart, and suddenly from my higher self I got this insight of let them into your heart space, because the heart space is such a magical place. It's just such a place for healing. So that's what I did next is I invited the dark entities to come into my heart space. And this went really fast. They go in there and they're healed poof. But then the downside of this is that it's voluntarily, so only the dark entities that want to come will come, that want to be healed. So it's very good for, because a lot of them do want to be healed very consciously. So it's a good way for healing those, because otherwise it takes so long and time is precious for us. So inviting them into your heart space is very good. And an interesting detail there is I once had a lucid dream where I was in a school and there was this little boy asking if he could be near me. And this is during the day I was busy healing the dark entities by letting them into my heart space. So automatically you do this at night as well. And I was lucid, but that aside. So I said, boy, of course you can be near me. Come into my heart space. You're very, very welcome here. And then suddenly I could see him getting afraid and backing away. And I was like, that's not a good sign. So I suddenly realized he's a dark entity because they are full of trickery. They will always try to sneak, to not be noticed, to trick you into thinking they're something else. And as soon as you know what they are, very often they run away, they're afraid. And then I think at that time I said to the boy that if you don't come into my heart space, then you don't have permission to be with me. And then in the dream I could just see him being cast away. And of course now I would do this differently because that poor boy, I still yanked him out. But so that's a very good example of it has to be voluntarily. But it's a very, very loving and very good way, and it feels so nice. What this example also shows is you don't have to be afraid of letting them into your heart space. They cannot do any harm there. If they go there, then they will heal. And if they don't want to heal, they will not go there. So heart space was the second way that I used. So the third way is what I call using magic. And this is also by channeling my higher self, but by speaking light language, mostly in my thoughts, not out loud. And by using my imagination or channeled images, however you want to call it, to follow what my higher self guides me to do. And again, I have 2 separate videos on how you can learn to speak light language and how you can learn to channel images from your higher self. I will link them below. So what I do then is I close my eyes, I concentrate on the images or the imagination. It feels like imagination for me, so I usually call it like that. And then I will see things, not always really a monster or a dark entity. It can be a very different thing. Once I kind of made a long stick of wood that I turned around, and it was doing something with the dark entity, but it was zoomed in on a detail for some reason. So it's really just following whatever comes. It can be no matter what. And then this works really well. Usually it goes very fast in healing the dark entities. And I think that it also depends on what the entity needs, but what this often does is connect them back to source, because the dark entities are disconnected from source. They don't have this stream of life source coming from source anymore. And that's why they kind of attack us, because they need food, and we are the food because they're not getting it from source anymore. So it disconnects them back to source. It opens their hearts. And as I said, it works really well on the dark entities of normal strength. It goes in a matter of like half a minute or something. I once had a really, really powerful one that was attached to someone else. And that took like maybe 15 minutes or something, and that's really the most powerful one I've ever encountered, so still quite fast. And then there is the fourth method that I use a lot right now, and that's healing the dark entities in lucid dreams. Again, a separate video on how you can become lucid in your dreams. So being lucid is that you know you are dreaming. And what I do now is I channel my higher self in a lucid dream. So I make the physical movements, I speak the light language out loud in a dream usually. And yeah, sometimes I also channel the images, but that's much harder in a dream. So mainly it's the physical movements and the light language in a dream. And when I encounter dark entities, I use this way of healing on them. And it works super well, because the ones that I encounter in dreams are really powerful ones. They're very good at hiding. I cannot get to them when I'm awake, but I can get to them in the dreams. And the main problem I have there right now is that I get false awakenings when I'm working with dark entities. So I usually often I cannot finish the healing, but I'm working on I'm finding a workaround for that one. So, main thing to take away from this video, how to get rid of your dark entities, is just raise your frequency, and yeah, you kind of don't have to get rid of them, just don't cast them out, but heal them, love them, and even accept them, because who knows, maybe they are you from a previous lifetime. And a lot of us will have the mission right now to work with dark entities to heal them, because there are so many dark entities that are having a big influence on the world. I have a separate video, by the way, of what they do actually, because the main thing they do is they influence our thoughts. I will link that video down below as well. So, of course, if you don't know that your thoughts are being influenced by dark entities, if you just believe that you hate yourself and that you're a terrible person and that you should be ashamed of yourself, this makes life really difficult. And once you realize, oh no, this is just a dark entity trying to bring me down, then everything changes. So don't fear the dark entities. We've lived with them all of our lives. We will live with them for a couple of years longer. Just know that they're there. Know what they do. Don't get fooled by them instilling fear in your thoughts, by them making you afraid of other people or angry at other people. Know that this is very often dark entities doing this. And as I said, raise your frequency, and when you feel cold, then work with the dark entities more intentionally. Use magic to heal them, learn to lucid dream, bring them into your heart space. And that was all for now. Like this video if you liked it, follow the channel. I will see you next time. Bye bye.